Ever questioned why humans feel an intense need to fit in? It's a puzzling thought, isn't it? This, my friends, is the enigma of social conformity. Let's take a moment to unpack this concept. Social conformity is the phenomenon where individuals alter their attitudes, beliefs, or behaviors to match those of the people around them. It is a universal human experience, one that transcends cultures, continents, and centuries. At its core, this need to conform stems from our inherent need for acceptance and belonging. It's almost as if we are hardwired to seek approval from our peers. We crave the comfort of knowing we are part of a group, that we are not alone. This longing for community is so strong that it often influences our actions, sometimes even subconsciously. Now, you might wonder, why is this so? Why do we yearn for social acceptance? The answer lies in the very fabric of our existence as a species. Humans are inherently social creatures. Our ancestors survived and thrived because they lived in groups, sharing resources and protecting each other from threats. This collective living demanded agreement, unity, and hence, conformity. Over time, this need to fit in became ingrained in our DNA, shaping the way we interact with the world around us. Today, this drive for conformity manifests in various aspects of our lives. From the clothes we wear to the music we listen to, from the career paths we choose to the opinions we hold. Our decisions are often influenced by the norms of the society we live in. We conform because it assures us a sense of security, a sense of belonging. But is conformity always beneficial? Or does it have a darker side? What happens when the desire to fit in overrides our individuality? And more importantly, can we strike a balance between conformity and our unique identities? These are some of the questions we will explore in our journey today. As we delve deeper into the science behind this, we'll better understand our instinct to conform. Let's embark on this fascinating exploration together. Psychology offers fascinating insights into our need to conform. Let's delve into the psychological theories behind conformity. The first theory we'll tackle is the concept of social proof. This psychological phenomenon suggests that people are likely to emulate the actions of others in an attempt to reflect correct behavior for any given situation. It's like when we're at a fancy dinner and unsure of which fork to use first. We sneak a peek at our neighbors and follow suit. Social proof is everywhere, from following fashion trends to laughing when others do, even if we didn't catch the joke. It's our instinctive way of fitting in with the crowd. Now let's talk about a pivotal study in the world of psychology, the Asch conformity experiment. Conducted in the 1950s by psychologist Solomon Asch, this experiment revealed just how strong the urge to conform can be. Asch asked participants to match the length of lines on 2 cards. Simple, right? But here's the twist. The participant was in a group of actors who intentionally picked the wrong line. The result? An astonishing 75% of participants conformed at least once, choosing the obviously wrong line just because the group did. What does this tell us? Despite our best intentions, and even when the truth is staring us in the face, the pressure to conform can lead us to override our own judgment. It's as if we have an internal compass that pulls us towards collective consensus, even when it's clearly off course. This instinct is so deeply ingrained that it can compel us to align our perceptions with those of the group, even when they're blatantly wrong. Asch's experiment and the concept of social proof together paint a compelling picture of human behavior. They highlight our innate desire for social harmony and acceptance, which can often lead us to adjust our actions, beliefs, and even perceptions to match those of the group. These theories and studies reveal our inherent need to align our behaviors with those around us. Our brains might be wired for conformity. A bold statement, isn't it? But let's dive into it. The human brain, a marvel of evolution, plays a pivotal role in our tendency to conform. 2 key players in this biological orchestra are mirror neurons and the brain's reward system. Let's start with mirror neurons. These specialized cells in our brains fire not only when we perform an action, but also when we observe someone else performing the same action. They allow us to understand, empathize, and mimic others, forming the underpinnings of social behavior. So, if you've ever yawned after seeing someone else yawn, or felt a twinge of pain watching someone get hurt, you have your mirror neurons to thank, or perhaps blame. In the context of conformity, They push us to mirror the behaviors and attitudes of those around us, fostering a sense of belonging and unity. Now, let's move on to the brain's reward system. This system, a network of structures including the amygdala, hippocampus, and nucleus accumbens, is designed to reward behaviors that are beneficial for survival. When we perform such behaviors, our brains release dopamine, a neurotransmitter associated with feelings of pleasure and satisfaction. This dopamine rush encourages us to repeat these behaviors in the future. So how does this relate to conformity? Well, social acceptance and harmony are vital for our survival as a species. When we conform to social norms and expectations, our brains recognize this as a survival-enhancing behavior and reward us with a dose of dopamine. This creates a positive feedback loop, where conformity leads to pleasure, which in turn encourages further conformity. In essence, our brains are not just passive observers in the process of conformity. They are active participants, using mirror neurons to help us understand and mimic others, and the reward system to encourage and reinforce conformity. Our brains, it seems, are naturally inclined towards social harmony. Conformity is not just a psychological phenomenon, but a social strategy too. In the grand scheme of human evolution, conformity has played a pivotal role, enabling us to live and thrive in groups. Let's delve deeper into the social benefits of conformity. Firstly, conformity fosters group cohesion. When individuals in a group follow the same norms and rules, they create a harmonious environment. This unity allows for effective communication and cooperation, strengthening the collective group identity. It's an integral part of our social fabric, from the way we queue at the supermarket to how we adhere to traffic rules. These shared behaviors ensure smooth interactions and reduce conflicts. Secondly, conformity promotes shared understanding. By adhering to societal norms, we cultivate a common ground. This shared understanding is the basis of our social interactions. It allows us to predict how others will behave, fostering a sense of security and belonging. Imagine the chaos if everyone decided to invent and follow their own language. Conformity, in this case, allows us to converse, share ideas, and build relationships. Lastly, we cannot overlook the role of conformity in our survival as a species. In ancient societies, conformity was a matter of life and death. Those who conformed to group norms, such as participating in hunts or sharing food, were more likely to survive and pass on their genes. Conformity ensured the group's survival by facilitating cooperation, sharing of resources, and collective defense against threats. However, conformity is not about blindly following the crowd. It's about recognizing and understanding the value of shared norms and behaviors. It's about choosing to align oneself with these norms because of the social benefits they offer. Conformity, at its core, is a delicate dance between individuality and the collective. It's about finding the right balance between expressing one's unique identity and aligning with group norms for the greater good. So the next time you find yourself conforming to a social norm, remember, it's not just about fitting in. It's a testament to our evolutionary history, a reflection of our social nature, and a strategy for group survival. Conformity, in essence, is a tool for social survival. While conformity has its benefits, it also has a darker side. And it's essential that we don't gloss over this aspect. Conformity, for all its social rewards, can often suppress individuality. It can muzzle the unique voices that bring fresh perspectives and innovation. When everyone is just going along with the crowd, where does that leave room for original thinking? It doesn't. Instead, it fosters an environment where creativity and personal expression are sidelined, and that can be harmful. This harmful impact of conformity isn't just about stifling creativity and individuality. It's also about the pressure to conform, which can be incredibly intense. Peer pressure, as we know, can lead people to make choices they wouldn't otherwise make, choices that can be detrimental to their well-being. It's not just about teenagers being pressured to drink or smoke. It's about employees feeling compelled to work overtime because everyone else is, even if it means sacrificing their health or family time. It's about individuals feeling pressured to follow societal norms that may not align with their personal values or beliefs. And then there's groupthink. This is when the desire for harmony in a group results in an irrational or dysfunctional decision-making outcome. Everyone agrees for the sake of agreement and avoids conflict. The result? Poor decisions are made because no one is willing to question or challenge the status quo. The Stanford Prison Experiment, conducted in the early 70s, is a prime example of how conformity can go terribly wrong. Ordinary students, when placed in the roles of guards and prisoners, conformed to their assigned roles to such an extreme extent that the experiment had to be terminated prematurely due to ethical concerns. It was a stark demonstration of how conformity can lead to inhumane behavior. So while conformity can promote social harmony and cooperation, it's crucial to remember that it's not always beneficial. It can suppress individuality, create undue pressure, and lead to poor decision-making. And in its most extreme form, as demonstrated by the Stanford Prison Experiment, unchecked conformity can lead to harmful outcomes. So how do we strike a balance between conformity and individuality? That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Navigating this fine line is a complex dance, a delicate equilibrium we all must master to truly thrive in any social setting. The key to this balancing act lies in the interplay of three crucial elements: critical thinking, personal values, and self-awareness. Let's break it down. First up, critical thinking. This is our ability to independently evaluate information, separate fact from fiction, and make decisions based on logic and reason rather than blindly following the crowd. By applying critical thinking, we can discern when to conform for the collective good and when to challenge the status quo. Next up, personal values. These are the beliefs and principles that guide our actions and decisions. Our values act as an internal compass, helping us to maintain our individuality even as we adapt to social norms. They remind us of who we are and what we stand for, ensuring that any conformity is aligned with our core beliefs. And lastly, self-awareness. This is our understanding of our own emotions, strengths, weaknesses, and motivations. Being self-aware allows us to recognize when we're conforming out of fear, peer pressure, or a desire for acceptance, and helps us to make conscious choices about our behavior. But remember, this isn't about swinging to extremes. It's not about being a nonconformist for the sake of rebellion, nor is it about conforming to every social norm without question. It's about finding that sweet spot, that harmonious blend of individuality and conformity that allows us to express our unique selves while still feeling connected to the wider community. Yes, it's a tricky balance to strike, but it's a worthwhile endeavor. Because when we do manage to find this balance, we experience the best of both worlds. We maintain our individuality, our personal integrity, and our authentic self-expression, while still enjoying the benefits of social acceptance, cooperation, and belonging. Striking a balance is key to maintaining our individuality while still being part of a social group. So as we navigate this complex world, let's remember to apply critical thinking, stay true to our values, and cultivate self-awareness. Because in the end, that's what it's all about. Non-conformity, however, has its own power. While the instinct to conform is deeply ingrained within us, there's an undeniable strength in standing apart from the crowd. Non-conformity can be the spark that ignites innovation, the catalyst for social change, and a potent force in challenging established norms. Take a moment to consider the realm of scientific discovery. It's often those who dare to defy the status quo, who question the accepted truths, who pioneer the most groundbreaking advancements. Albert Einstein, for instance, was a notorious nonconformist. He challenged the Newtonian physics that dominated the scientific community during his time, leading to his revolutionary theory of relativity. Nonconformity is not limited to the scientific world. It's a force that has shaped our societies and cultures in profound ways. Consider the civil rights movement in the United States. Rosa Parks, a black seamstress from Alabama, became a symbol of resistance when she refused to give up her seat on a segregated bus. Her act of nonconformity sparked a movement that ended segregation and fundamentally changed the fabric of American society. But nonconformity isn't just about grand gestures and far-reaching societal changes. It's also about the everyday decisions we make, the small acts of resistance that challenge the norms and expectations that surround us. It's about choosing a different path, not because it's easy, but because it's true to who we are. Now, it's important to note that nonconformity isn't about being different for the sake of being different. It's not a call to rebel without a cause. Instead, it's about recognizing when the established way of doing things isn't serving us or our communities, and having the courage to envision and pursue a different path. In a world that often rewards conformity, non-conformity can be a difficult path to tread. But history has shown us time and again that it's often the non-conformists who drive progress, who challenge us to think differently, who inspire us to be better. Non-conformity, when harnessed correctly, can be a potent force for positive change. To wrap up, our need to conform is deeply rooted in our biology and psychology. We've journeyed through the puzzle of social conformity, exploring how our instinct to fit in is not a sign of weakness, but a fundamental part of being human. We've delved into the psychology and biological foundations of conformity, shedding light on why we often find comfort and safety in blending with the crowd. We've assessed the social benefits of conformity, acknowledging its role in maintaining order and harmony. Yet we've also uncovered its dark side, where excessive conformity can suppress individuality and breed intolerance. The balance we've discovered lies somewhere between conformity and non-conformity. Embracing non-conformity can spark innovation, challenge outdated norms, and foster personal growth. But we must also respect the unifying force of conformity. As we navigate our social world, understanding our instinct to conform can help us make more informed choices. Before we wrap up this fascinating journey, we'd like to remind you to comment, like, and subscribe to our channel for more insightful content. Your engagement pushes us to dig deeper, explore more, and bring you the most thought-provoking discussions. Now let's take a moment to reflect on what we have learned today. We've explored the complexity of social conformity, understood its roots in our biology and psychology, and recognized its role in maintaining social order. We've also seen how it can sometimes lead to suppression of individuality and the propagation of harmful norms. The key, as we've discovered, lies in balance. It's about acknowledging the value of conformity while also recognizing the power of non-conformity. It's about finding our own path while respecting the shared paths that bind us together as a society. As we continue to navigate through our social world armed with this understanding, we can make more informed choices about when to conform and when to break away. Stay curious, stay thoughtful, and most importantly, stay uniquely you.